Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be covering some Venn diagrams questions. So the first one up here is a fairly simple-ish Venn diagram question, and if you guys haven't already checked out my earlier videos, so Venn diagrams 1 and 2, then please do check those out before you come here, because some of the techniques that I discuss over there are really important, and I'll be just kind of putting those into practice with more questions over here. And as always, if you do have any questions of yourself that you found really difficult or that you've encountered in your practice that you're not sure about if there's a better way of approaching, please do put them down in the document down below. So I've linked it in the description. It's called Questions to Go Through, and in it it's been quite clearly delineated into different areas. So if you put down make sure you put your question and answer in the correct section, it will allow me to be able to make these videos quicker and to hopefully get those solutions back to you as soon as possible. Okay. But as always, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you've made it this far, please do like, share and subscribe. So first question over here. So quite a classic Venn diagram question. As soon as you see this kind of layout and when they ask things like how many have both, we know we're going to start off with a Venn diagram that looks like this. So 40 people in the library. It's talking about mobile phones, it's talking about laptops. 24 have mobile phones, 18 have laptops. Remember, that's all cool information for now, but there's nothing definitive. What we want to do with Venn diagrams is write down the definitive stuff first. 8 have neither a mobile phone nor a laptop. That's what we want. Okay, so 8 have neither. And based on what we're told here, we know in the middle there's X. Okay, and we're told 24 have mobile phones and 18 have laptops. So we know that this number over here must be 24 minus X. This must be 18 minus X. Okay, and we know that all of this must add up to 40. So 8 plus, and this is where you can do things faster. So if you think about it, so 8 plus 24 plus 18, so that's 42. And then you've got minus X, add X, minus X, which is going to be minus X equals 40. So all I'm doing here is I'm saying that all of the key components in this Venn diagram must add up to 40. So the equation that I'm performing is simply this. But I've just speed ran it a little bit, and I've cancelled some stuff out. I've done this plus this in my head. So then that's just 50 minus X equals 40. So X must equal 10. And so the question is how many have both, which is X, so 10. Sometimes the trick can be, how many have just mobile phones. So you might do all the hard work and find out what X is. But if that was the answer here, if that was the case here, if the question was how many have just mobile phones, then the answer would be 14. Okay? So make sure to pay close attention to that. So on to the next question then. Cool. Okay, so this question is probably one of the more annoying ones. So one of the reasons why I recommend you to watch my first Venn diagram video is that I talk about a really important concept there, which is the idea that not all Venn diagram questions are created equal. So what that's to do with is the fact that some Venn diagram questions are really easy to do, and I would 100% would advise you to do them in your first run through, kind of like the ones that the one that I just did. Okay, and there'll be other easier ones as well. There'll also be some that are just too hard or too time consuming to do on your first run through. Okay, and that's an example, and this is an example of that right now. And therefore, it's important that you learn to kind of triage effectively, because that's what the UCAT is about. Okay, at the end of the day, the UCAT boils down to you picking out the easier questions to do over the harder ones and making sure that you can do them fast. That's all it is. So you have to learn to triage. So as soon as I see a question like this, I'm skipping it. Okay, it doesn't mean I'm never going to do it. It just means it's not my immediate top priority. That's all. Okay, and so that's really important to consider. So let's have a look at this question then. Okay, so questions like this, the reason why I don't like doing them is not because they're impossible to do, but it's because you can't really dive straight for the answer. Like we did in the last question when we actually actively worked out the answer. You can't really do that here, okay? What you instead have to do is put yourself through this laborious effort of ruling out. So you work out each part, work out each statement, and then you rule out this one, and then you rule out that one, and then you rule out that one, and then the only one that's left is the one that could be possible, okay? And that takes a long time. So when I see something like this, that's why I skip it on the first run through. But when I come back to it, you can see there's 3 statements here. 15 cars are painted silver and exactly one other colour. Of the 30 cars painted red, half also are painted blue. 3 cars have no colours at all. Which of the following diagrams could represent these model cars? Okay, it's it's an annoying question. It looks, I know a lot of people have the same reaction as myself when you see it, but obviously we do eventually have to learn to do them. So the first thing I'd say is, don't take the information chronologically. Take it as what makes your life easiest. So you can see, of these statements, the easiest one to rule out is going to be 3 cars have no colour at all. So you can see, I'm looking for 3 outside of these Venns. So you can see A is immediately going to be wrong because it has 2 outside. All the others work. Okay, and then we have 2 other statements. 15 cars are painted silver and exactly one other color, or of the 30 cars painted red, half also are painted blue. So now I would go for the top statement. The reason being is because it says are painted silver and exactly one other color. So I'm just looking for an overlap between 2. Okay, I'm looking for an overlap between these kind of like 2 regions, and therefore that's important to have a look at. Okay, so I know that that is going to be my preference, as opposed to the second one, which says of the 30 cars painted red, half are also painted blue. The issue with that is I need to count 30 in individual ovals. So you can see there's like 4 things for me to count here, right? That's too much for each go. So you can see I'd have to do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Okay, so yeah, that's why I would prefer to use the first statement ahead of the second one. And just on that note as well, so sometimes another thing to consider is the number. So here, I've only just remembered this as I was doing the question. So it says decorates each of the 50 model cars. So it depends on how easily you find mental maths and doing that kind of thing, but it's always worthwhile to do that check. So actually, in reality, I would have done this one first, and then I probably would have done the 50. So I can do this quite fast. So 12, 19, 24, 29, 32, 40, 47, 50. Okay, so that one's 50, that's fine. 7, 16, 21, 28, 34, 42, 47, 50. Okay, that's fine. 11, 19, 28, 33, 36, 46, 49. Okay, so you can see D is going to be wrong for that reason. So we've done another rule out. Okay, great. Cool. Then I would go for 15 cars are painted silver and exactly one other color. Okay, cool. So silver and exactly one other color. So what does that mean? Well, if I erase this from last time. So silver and exactly one other color means that these 2 kind of areas, okay, on an individual oval have to add up to make 15. Do you see? Because obviously I'm not sure where silver is. That's why I have to try it for each one. So this adds up to 10. That's wrong. This adds up to 12. That's wrong. This adds up to 8. That's wrong. Okay, so it's not going to be B. So I can be comfortable my answer is C. Okay, and because I trust my working, I trust that I've done it correctly, I'm not going to go back and check it. What you can do is you can flag it, and then you can come back to check it. But obviously here, because I'm showing you guys how to do this question, I'm going to show that my working is correct. So 9 and 8, 17, that's wrong. 9 and 7, 16, that's wrong. But 8 and 7, 15, that's right. Okay, so 15 cars are painted silver and exactly one other color. You can see I didn't even have to use this third clue yet. And that clue looked really annoying, so I'm glad I didn't have to use it. And so you can see the answer is C. Perfect. So on to the next question. Okay, so last question. So this one is tricky because I probably wouldn't advise to use a Venn diagram for it. So it looks like a Venn diagram question, but it probably wouldn't work out very well if you did. Okay, this one you can use more of like a stick diagram, if anything. So a clothes store that specializes in jumpers wants to analyze its sales over the past 5 years to determine which design is the most popular. And by the way, as always, with these questions, before I do them, it's always good if you can pause and try and attempt it yourself, and you can compare your own working to my working. Because one of the mistakes that I think people make is that they can get complacent with kind of just being able to get questions right and doing things. Okay, like it's okay to get questions right, that's good, but with the UCAT you always have to try and see if you can push yourself, and that's something I even do nowadays. Okay, can I save a second or two off every single question, because that's important. These seconds do add up and it gives you more breathing space. So it's always important to see if the way that you're doing it, even if it's right, can it be done faster. So as I was saying, so sales figures show 206 red jumpers were sold. So 206 red jumpers, 152 jumpers with stripes, and 172 wool jumpers. Okay, so 80 of the red jumpers sold had stripes on it. So 80 of these, so I can draw like an arrow, and I put RS. They were red and they were striped. 46 of these jumpers were made with wool. So of these, 46 are going to be RSW. They're red, they're striped, and they're made with wool. Cool. 80 of the red jumpers, 39 other jumpers with stripes made from wool were sold. So 39 other jumpers with stripes made from wool were sold. So 39, that's going to be wool and stripes. How many jumpers with stripes, okay, that were not red or made from wool were sold. So we don't want those two. So we know there were 80 that were red and striped, 39 that were woolen and striped. We want the remaining amount. So this is quite easy to do now. It's just 50 minus, because we know there's 152 in total. We know 80 of them are red, 39 of them are woolen, and obviously there's going to be some others as well. And to work out that remaining amount, that's just 152 minus 119. You can do that in your head, put it in the calculator. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's 33. Okay, so I hope you found that video helpful. As always, please do let me know what kind of questions you'd like to see next, and put any questions that you have difficulty with in the document, as I mentioned. And thank you so much for watching. We're almost at 5.9k, which is absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, please do let me know if you have any concerns, and don't hesitate to get in touch if you would like any one-to-one lessons. But as always, take care, and I will see you guys in the next video.